Congratulations.
All right, if we could bring it back real fast.
Come here. Congratulations.
All right, we're going to go ahead and start. So if they could have your full attention.
The founder of Climate Reality, her name is Nicole Granados. She founded our DePaul chapter back in 2018 when she realized that DePaul was one of the only schools in Chicago that doesn't have a formal sustainability plan. She decided to start a Climate Reality Campus Corps chapter here at DePaul, which was just aimed at getting students involved in climate change.
Climate Reality Project is a project that is headed up by Al Gore. And so he started quite a while back training people to go out and speak about the reality of climate change, hence the name Climate Reality Project, talking about how dire the situation is, but in addition also talking about what the answer is. The Climate Reality Project, their primary answer is just renewable energy.
So one of the major things that we've been working on since we started is creating a campaign, which is called What About DePaul? And it's where we go around and we ask students and other members who have joined our organization, what is DePaul doing for sustainability efforts or for climate change?
There's been a lot of discussions about sustainability plans at DePaul since I've been here. I remember being involved in early discussions almost 12 years ago about should DePaul have a sustainability plan. We do. There is one. It's hidden. It's not published. A lot of work went into it.
The first thing that we said that we would need was ideally a director of sustainability. So if they could take a director of sustainability, take that institutional sustainability plan, and start working with other administrators on implementing that plan. I mean, why reinvent the wheel? We've done the work. So that would be the ideal first step.
Well, I don't believe it is difficult for the university to go green. Sometimes it might cost a little bit more to have a building that is LEED certified, but that's something that DePaul is committed to. So everything that we look at, especially in terms of facilities, recycling, energy, our carbon footprint, it's something DePaul is committed to. So I don't think it's an option anymore for institutions to be sustainable. And I think as an educational institution, we need to be on the forefront of that.
For sure. And how would you say DePaul compares to other universities?
As far as I can tell, and I have not done a side-by-side comparison, I would suggest for that maybe you want to reach out to Bob Janis, who's in charge of all our facilities. But I do believe that DePaul does very well.
So the Climate Action Plan was adopted in 2015. So we are a Catholic institution, a Jesuit Catholic institution, like some other schools here in the Chicagoland area that are Catholic. And 2015, something really important happened. That is Pope Francis released the encyclical on ecology. So that's called Laudato Si. And in that, he calls for this concept of an integral ecology, the idea that what we do to people, we do to the planet, and vice versa. So we have a commitment to carbon neutrality by 2025 for our main emissions, and that's really the kind of energy that we use on campus in our buildings and our vehicles and things like that. But more generally, we also have commitments related to waste and water consumption and our courses, so things that we're trying to do to make sure that sustainability really reaches out across the university. But they're doing like cuttings for houseplants, so they'll sell houseplants at the farmer's market. Get waste vegetable oil from all the places that you see over here. So basically most of the main universities and museums in Chicago, we get their waste vegetable oil. It comes into this tank and then it's done in big batches. So a couple hundred gallons at a time come through the reactor. The finished fuel is then put over here, and then those impurities are taken out. So one of the impurities is glycerin, So that tank that says raw byproduct back there, that is glycerin that's been kind of broken off of the vegetable oil.
We do a laundry sustainability pledge campaign where we educate residents in the halls about the impact of laundry. So as you may know, here on campus we have free included laundry, so every resident that lives on campus can just do their laundry. They don't have to worry about quarters. But one of the things that we wanted to make sure we didn't have happen was just because it's free doesn't mean you should do a load of laundry of just your t-shirt and jeans that you want to wear to go out. In the residence halls, we have, especially in the common area bathrooms, the automatic shut-off faucets that will automatically turn on and off as your hands are there. We have hand dryers in all the public restrooms rather than paper towels. We've also installed low-flow shower heads in all the residence hall spaces, and then all of the toilets are also low-flow, so I think they're 1.6 gallon per flush for the toilets, which are kind of the standard right now for the industry. All of our lounges have motion activated lights, so when nobody is in the space, the lights will automatically turn off, and that helps save energy. And then just across the rest of the university, we've got the solar panel charging stations in the quad. And one that also is a big impact is at the student center. They compost a lot of the food waste that's left over at the end of the day. And this is something that a lot of people don't realize because composting requires zero contamination whatsoever. So rather than putting the composting bins in the front of the house for the students to put stuff in, instead it's all done back of the house. So because it's not necessarily visible to people, they may not realize, but we actually compost quite a bit. We're one of the leaders in terms of educational institutions in Chicago in terms of our composting.
There's some things we can do to address climate change that are really more institutional, things that facilities or purchasing or information technology can work on, but there's some very general things we want everybody to participate in. That's zero waste activities, make sure that composting and recycling is done. Things like water conservation. Most of the water that's used on campus is used in residence life. It's used in the residence halls. And of course, the academic side. So giving more faculty and more students more resources to incorporate sustainability into the teaching and the research.
In comparison to other universities, we're still falling pretty far behind.
We have made an effort to talk to many people and figure out what DePaul is doing. We got just pushed around a lot. So we talked to many different people, and every person that we spoke to stated that this exactly what we wanted to see and what we were looking for was not their job to accomplish.
Does DePaul have a current sustainability plan in place that you're aware of?
We have a report where everything that we do is looked through that lens.
Like, who's in charge of all of these endeavors?
It's as I mentioned, Bob Janis, the VP in charge of facilities.
And is there an environmental specialist involved in any of these discussions at all?
I think whenever we I would double check with Bob Janis, but whenever we contract out with contracting firms or with architects, that's definitely brought into the discussion and into the planning.
So we don't have a designated environmentalist on staff currently, though?
We might.
Okay.
We might. That one, I really would defer the question to Bob Janis. He is going to be able to provide you with a lot more of the specifics.
Mm-hmm. So are you aware that there was actually a proposal put together for a DePaul sustainability plan in 2012 that was actually denied by the former president?
No.
So I have it with me if you want to take a look.
Okay.
So this is from 2012. It basically just runs through why DePaul should be sustainable, why it should have a sustainability plan, outlines the entirety of the project, everything involved. Obviously, it's not your place to say why it got denied because it was the former president who is no longer with us.
I don't think I was even here at the time.
Yeah, then you might have not been.
And if I'm not mistaken, we did get some requests that came through, at least since I've been here, through the Student Government Association, and they've been addressed.
Mm-hmm.
I think it had to do with solar panels, using recyclable materials, and there's a lot of that has been implemented.
Awesome. Good to hear.
But I have not heard of this.
Do you feel that DePaul has rested the fate of DePaul's sustainability actions on you and SGA?
I don't think so. Honestly, like, it's a privilege, like, because there's so many student orgs, there's no way that the university can reach out to every single student org trying to make change on campus. So, like, as student government, we're the representatives for those student orgs to try to, like, say, you know, oh, I am working for your goals. So, like, as Senator for Sustainability, yes, that does give a lot of pressure on me to, like, try and do what other students, like, try to help other students with their goals. But it's kind of like when you sign up for SGA, that's kind of what you sign up for.
What has been done with the money in the past? I know there was a past sustainability chair.
Mm-hmm.
So has it all been used, and do you think it's been used efficiently?
Yeah, actually, all of the money was used and has been used. So all of the water bottle refilling stations, those are SGA initiatives. Also, we partnered with facility operations to put the solar panels on the rooftops of, I think there's 3 buildings, and actually we partnered with them again, and we're going to put more solar panels on rooftops. Like, I would love to see a sustainability website, like, posted on DePaul's website, and, like, a little tab about sustainability, because if you go on, like, Marquette's website, or if you go on any other school's website, you see sustainability. So, and DePaul is doing so much. Like, I want to make that very clear. Like, DePaul is, like, doing a lot for sustainable efforts, but it's unknown by students.
We do so many good things, but a lot of things we do well are done individually, and they're not done, and there's just not even notoriety. We do good things that we don't even know about.
You really have to be committed, not just in mind and in heart and in spirit, but also where the rubber meets the road, which would be in your bank account. And so we didn't seem to feel like that was a place where we wanted to make great expenditures. We do, to some extent, in operations, but not beyond that.
Would you say that the majority of the students at DePaul are aware of these initiatives?
I believe they are. I would say that the student body now, more than ever, this is a given.
Absolutely nothing.
I definitely say that I really don't know. I think that for me, it's a shame because I am a junior, so I can't say that I do know regarding our initiatives, other than knowing that our logo is Here We Do.
DePaul sustainability, I admittedly do not know very much at all.
For the most part, I'm really only aware of what goes on at the stew with how they, I don't know really what they do with some of the food.
I don't know much about DePaul sustainability at all. I mean, I know that there's recycling bins all around campus.
I don't know much about what's happening at DePaul, like, regards to sustainability.
Don't stop giving people straws unless they specifically ask for them. I don't know too much otherwise.
So I would say they are. And, back to this, as I said, have a look at what has been happening.
Mm-hmm.
And, because my guess is, just looking at some of these things, that there's probably a lot of this that has already been addressed. Again, I don't know the history of this particular document, but I think there's a lot that is in the works, that's been done, as well as a lot of that is happening as well.
Have you interviewed Bob Janis?